Hello, Year 5. I hope you've had another lovely weekend. I know some of you this week will be getting your books back, so you might be wanting to publish the astronaut biographies that we were doing before. That's fine. That's my fault. I didn't think of that when I was planning lessons. Obviously, I've just planned these sort of things. Just to, well, act as if we're in normal school, the normal sort of plan for lessons after another. So yeah, like I say, that's my fault. But if you've already done that from memory, or you've decided to redraft and do it again, that's fine too. But yeah, we'll get on with the next part of the lessons on our magazine about space. So this is the next bit. Right. So I want you to have a look at the starter for now. They're all about subordinate clauses. I want you to see if you can identify them for now. Again, this is based on SPAG tests, and it's just basic Year 5 knowledge. It's almost recapping Year 4 as well, to make sure you have the knowledge that's required to be a Year 5 writer, and then pushing on to next year when you're required to be a Year 6 writer, of course. So, if you want to have a pause of the video here, let me have give yourself 5 minutes and I will give you the answers after that. So pause the video here and I'll tell you which part is which. Off you go. Right. So the first one says, when you get sick, you should stay in bed. So again, it's a bit like a relative clause. One sentence, or one part of the sentence rather, makes sense by itself. The other one doesn't. So yeah. So the first one, when you get sick, doesn't make sense by itself. So that is a subordinate clause. Because if we just say, when you get sick, and leave it there, we don't know what to do, do we? We don't know what to do when you do get sick. So if I just change the colour very quickly, you should stay in bed is the main clause, because that makes sense by itself. Obviously, you know what a comma looks like. And in green, this one here, that is your subordinate conjunction. When, it's telling you then. So, next part. Subordinate clause, after lunch, I went to my friend's house. So if I just say after lunch by myself, wouldn't make sense at all, would it? So that's subordinate clause. I went to my friend's house, that makes sense perfectly by itself. And here we go again. And then after is our subordinate conjunction. And again, if it snows tomorrow, we can make a snowman. So we can say, we can make a snowman. Does make sense by itself, so that isn't our subordinate clause. This is. Wonder if I caught anybody out there. We can make a snowman does make sense by itself. So you can see how it's a bit different to a relative clause. And then your subordinate conjunction in this case is if. You can also have we as well. So remember, it's all about one part makes sense by itself, the other doesn't. So if you want to have a go through that, match the main clauses, off you go. There's a couple of these sort of make sense with different ones. So I could say, put on your coat if it gets cold. And I could also say, put on your coat before it's too late. So make sure each matches up, make sure it makes sense. Write them on the page next to your work, so on the left page, and obviously do your work on the right page. And I will have a look at these when you hand them back in on Monday. So, Friday rather. So when you can, pause the video, get on with it very quickly, very carefully, make sure it all makes sense. Right, so now that you've done that, I want you to make a sentence that includes these subordinate clauses at the end, so these ones underneath, and see if you can include a subordinate clause at the end and at the beginning. So start with one and finish with one. So you need to use two in that sentences. Again, write them underneath where you did this one, and I'll oh, it's not loading again. I'll look forward to reading them on Friday as well. Right. today's task. I don't want to waste any more time on the starter. I want to give you as much time. So, without looking in your books, because we did this last week, obviously I know that won't be too much of a problem because you've handed those books in from last week, the last time, haven't you? So, I want you to name all the planets very quickly. If you want to pause the video here, see if you can name them all just by pointing at them. And then after that, play the video again and see if you got them all right. So, yeah, pause the video here. See if you can go through them all. Okay, so the first planet is Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, the biggest one, Saturn. Oh, you can't see that properly. That one is Saturn there. Uranus, that one. And, of course, Neptune. And obviously, if you really wanted to include it, Pluto, for being obviously a dwarf planet, isn't it? So, next bit. Again, that's just showing you that. I want you to know which planet would you call your favourite. I've taken Earth off that just because, obviously, you live on Earth. You don't really need to learn much more or too much more about that. You live on it, and obviously that's one that we'll be looking at. We'll be looking at that a lot on in our topic. So again, pick either Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, or Neptune. Tell me which one's going to be your almost sort of like your favourite planet. See what you can find out about it, and then yeah, I'll get on to what we're doing today. So today you will be summarising the information about the planets you and your partner. So that could be mum or dad, that could be big sister, little sister, whoever's looking at this with you. I know obviously this is a bit different, isn't it? Because in school you'd be working with the person sitting next to you, or if I was feeling nice in my class, I might even have let you work with your friends. But anyway, this is how we're doing it now. We're a bit stuck with that. So yeah, just pick one. So once you've chosen the two planets that you're going to read about, so in this case, again, one partner will be doing, I don't know, Saturn, the other one might be doing Neptune. This time you're going to do both. So, I've got information sheets that I will load up for you now. So, for instance, let's say you wanted to do Mars. I'll open my Mars one up. And once you've done that, you're going to read through it very quickly. Is it going to load? Yeah. You're going to read through this. For instance, you've got some questions at the bottom. And you're going to summarise that sheet very carefully. So, I've read through, I chose Neptune. I'm going to quickly skim read the text and highlight things, or in your case, you might just want to underline the things that are important. So, Neptune, named after the Roman god of the sea, is a large gas planet and the 8th and farthest planet from the sun, so the furthest away. Scientists believe the atmosphere of Neptune is made up of hydrogen, helium, silicates, and water, so they think there's some water on it. Neptune is surrounded by clouds moving up to 700 miles per hour, so a lot faster than clouds move on Earth, isn't it? Some of the clouds are composed mostly of frozen methane, giving Neptune its blue colour. Neptune rotates on its axis in 16.11 hours, so a day on Neptune takes 16.11 hours as opposed to our 24, and it takes 164 Earth years to orbit the sun, which again is a very, very long time. So most people, if they were born on Neptune, they wouldn't even be 1 year old technically. So I can see there why. I can also understand why it's been called Roman god of the sea, because it's blue, isn't it? So that's why they've highlighted it. I could find two key facts from that and underline them, which I'll do very quickly. So I might really like. I might underline this one. Understanding why it's blue. And I might like that it's named after a Roman god of the sea. So I might underline that. And then I'm going to move on to this. So going straight into your books, I'm going to say, what key facts did I find? And I'm going to put them into my own words. So I'm going to do a quick paragraph about Neptune. So I'm going to take this here. I'm going to put that into my own words. I'm going to write a descriptive piece using lots of factual language. So getting as many facts in as possible. Again, you don't have to have done Neptune if you wanted to do something like Mars, Venus, Mercury, or even if you want to do your own research into Pluto, that's fine. Get your information in. Where is it? Use that to help you. Tell me what it has. And yeah, that should be really easy for you. Green groups, that's Miss Conley or Miss Saeed's group. Where am I looking here? You've got a spag game to do, which looks like this for your starter, and get your things in. And for you guys, I want you to try and write me a paragraph too. In your work packs, you should have got a help sheet with lots of information and lots of key adjectives used to describe a planet. Everybody should know to use adjectives. After all, we are describing it, aren't we? So if I'm telling that, gives it its blue colour. Blue is still an adjective. It's the farthest. I know from reading that adjective, I'm describing it as the furthest planet away from the sun. There's lots of good information in there. Write a quick description about one planet. Like I said on this slide, you're going to do two. I'll be really, really impressed if you can push yourself on and do two. All right. Yeah, so that's Monday's lesson. If you do need any help, I'm in school this week, so if you need to get in touch with me, I've got my emails open, and if I don't get to you first, Miss Biggs will, who's at home. All right. Right, everyone, I hope you're all looking after yourself. I hope you're still working hard. If you do need any help at all, get in touch. All right, take care and goodbye.